Shout out to the Detroit Lions and their pass rush, the whole entire team, but specifically their pass rush and Al Quadin Muhammad getting 2.5 sacks in an absolute shootout to help get the Detroit Lions the win. The Lions face the Baltimore Ravens tonight on Monday Night Football, and they were able to pull it out, winning 38-30. I had us losing this game. I really did. This is the first game I do a pick'em league. This was the first time that I have picked against the Detroit Lions in 2 years. I have not picked against the Detroit Lions since the 2022 season. I think the last time I picked against them was against, I can't remember who it was against, but the last time I had us losing was in 2022. I mean, maybe I said it once in 2023 on the channel. I know I didn't say it all last year. Maybe I said it once in 2023 on the channel when I made a preview video, but I don't think I did. And I picked against the Detroit Lions this game, and what do you know? They end up getting a win, and a big one at that. The score is one thing, you beat them by, touchdown, 2-point conversion. We really beat them by 2 scores, though, because they ended up getting late garbage time touchdown. And we'll go ahead and get straight into it so I can wrap this video up, hopefully quicker than normal. But the Lions, they beat Baltimore 38-30. Jared Goff gets his first win against Lamar Jackson. This, I believe, was the 4th time facing Lamar Jackson in his career. He is now 1-3 against Lamar Jackson's NFL career, so he gets that off his back now. And this is the first time the Detroit Lions have beaten Baltimore, I'm pretty sure. I want to say in over 20 years, maybe. Or it might actually be our first time ever beating Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. So, wow, we get two major things off our chest. It was just our first time beating Baltimore, I think, since 2009 or something like that. I'm not 100% certain on those last two things about us beating Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium and the last time we beat them, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around those time frames. But let's go and go over the stats here. We get two big things off our back. Take a look at the Lions stats here. Jared Goff, pretty decent day. Did not play nearly as good as last week, but he's very, very good again today. 20 for 28, 202, and 1 touchdown. I don't know what the percentage is there. I usually give the percentages. I'll look that up in a minute. But Jared Goff was, for the most part, very accurate today. He made one bonehead incompletion on, I believe it was like a 3rd and 5, where he should have really just took off and ran. But instead, he decided, well, he acted like he was going to run, and then he decided to make almost like a off-body sidearm throw to Khalif Raymond that was not even near him, that ended up resulting in a punt for us. But besides that bonehead incompletion where he should have just took off and run, I'm not saying he would have got the first down, but he would have got very close to. Besides that, he played out of his I don't want to say played out of his mind because he didn't, but he played very, very well today. Jared Goff continued to show today that even outside, even against the best teams in the league, he is arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Arguably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He continues to show it. I love that he's proving the haters wrong. While I'm at it, I do want to take a look and see what that completion percentage is. That's the lowest completion percentage I'm pretty sure of the season for Jared Goff, but let me go ahead and look it as a percentage. It is 71.43%. So Jared Goff completed almost 71.5% of his passes today, which is still very, very good, and that would be one of the best in the league if the season ended today off of this game. So Jared Goff, another great game. On to the running game. It was phenomenal. Specifically, David Montgomery. You see him on the thumbnail. 12 carries, 151 yards, 12.6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. He looks like Monty from the beginning of last season. If you don't remember, Monty from the beginning of last season was like Derrick Henry when he had, essentially, Derrick Henry from his 2,000-yard season, whatever it was, 2021, 2022, whenever I think it was in 2021, so 4 years ago. That's what he looked like at the beginning of last year, and that's what he looked like today. He broke, I believe, a huge, I want to say it was 73-yard run. Should have took it to the house, but Monty's not that fast, so he wasn't able to take it all the way. But it would have been, I believe, an 85-yard touchdown or something like that if he was able to break it. But he did break it for, 9/10 of the way, getting 73 yards on the carry. And then he broke a 31-yard touch. I think it was a 31-yard touchdown to essentially seal the game late in the fourth quarter. So Montgomery played out of his mind. And besides that, he was just pounding the rock the whole game. It felt like maybe two or I don't even want to say that. Maybe besides one or two carries did he get less than 5 yards a run. I mean, for real. I mean, he played out of his mind today. There was only, I think, maybe one or two times where he had a run that was under 5 yards. He was just pounding the rock, breaking tackles. And shout out, before I forget, to the Detroit Lions offensive line. You see one of the offensive linemen on the thumbnail, the rookie from Georgia, Tate Ratledge, the Lions' second-round pick. This was by far his best game in the NFL as a Detroit Lion. 100% best game of his young NFL career. He played like a starting caliber guard in the league today, and he played not just like a starter. He played like, I got to rewatch the film, and I don't want to say too much here, but he played like an all-pro guard today. He played out of his mind. I think you can make an argument that he was our best offensive lineman today. I mean, you could really make that case for any of our offensive linemen. We did not allow a sack today, and I saw a crazy stat. I don't know if it's legit, but I'm pretty sure it is, that this was the first game that the Ravens have not gotten a sack on defense in, I think, 56 games. They've played 56 games straight where they've gotten at least, I'm assuming, half a sack, and they did not get a single one, not even a half a sack in today's game. Obviously, they were without Justin Adame Madubuike and Kyle Van Noy, which obviously helped the cause. But even besides that, they still got a very decent interior with John Jenkins, and they still got Odafe Owe on the edge, who I'm a big fan of. So, obviously, they had some big missing pieces there. I'm not saying we wouldn't have allowed a sack if those two guys were playing, but that is a pretty great stat. Tate Ratledge played phenomenal today, both in the pass game and run game, especially in the run game. Graham Glasgow also had another fantastic day today, like he did last week. Played one of the best games he's played since the 2023 NFL season. Taylor Decker is, I think, arguably off to the best start of any Detroit Lions offensive lineman. I think he was probably our best or second best offensive lineman in week one. It still wasn't great. Our whole offensive line was horrible in week one. And you just take a look at our whole offensive line from week one to now week three. Week one, it looked like it was maybe the worst offensive line in the whole entire NFL. And now you take a look at week three, it looks like it's arguably the best in the whole entire NFL. It's just a crazy turnaround. How just like 3 games with the rookies being involved and the new formations on the offensive line from what a previous player was playing, and Graham Glasgow playing guard, now moving to center. The fact that now that they have 3 games under their belt, and they got the communications and everything under control now, they look great. They look great. Mahogany had another great day today. Again, Taylor Decker, I think he's off to probably the best start to a season of his NFL career. He played a great year last year and was off to a great start last year, but I think he's even off to a better start this year. Penei Sewell obviously had a great day. He always does. But Graham Glasgow also had another great day today. So shout out to the Detroit Lions offensive line and Dave Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs, statistically wasn't that good, but I thought he played a pretty decent day today. Not by like any means was it fantastic. 22 for 67, 3 yards to carry on the nose, and 2 touchdowns. 3 yards to carry on the nose is not good. However, you watch the film, he really wasn't that bad. I mean, it didn't feel like he was breaking as many tackles for huge runs today. I think his longest rush was maybe 9 yards. But he was still very efficient on the ground. He had I think it was at least 2 plays where he got tackled 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, which was the reason why his yards per carry is so low. And there was another one. It was on Jared Goff. I don't know if it ended up counting as a pass or if it ended up counting as a run, because it was going to be a pass. Jared Goff, pressure was coming, so Jared Goff, which pressure did not happen a lot today, but Jared Goff had to get rid of it. and they thought it was a backwards pass, so it was a fumble. Jahmyr Gibbs picked it back up and was tackled for a loss of -9. So I'm assuming that counted as a run for Jahmyr Gibbs, and that affected his yards per carry a lot as well. So you take that off, and you take his other 1 or 2, -3 or 4 yards on a run loss. He probably would have been at 4 yards a carry at least. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I thought he was very efficient on the ground today, even besides his 3 yards a carry. Jared Goff, 6 yards. Love to see it. St. Brown, 7 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Another touchdown. This is St. Brown's 4th touchdown of the NFL season, and we're only heading into week 4 now. But very efficient, 7 for 77 on a great. He made also a great, besides that touchdown catch, a great catch, and it was a great throw by Jared Goff to end the game essentially as well as Dan Campbell decided to gamble for it. Dan Gamble on 4th and 2 at their own 48-yard line, or 47-yard line. It was one of the two, and they ended up getting the first down on a gutsy play call by John Morton. Now, let me talk about John Morton, Kelvin Shepard here. Kelvin Shepard, he's already looked better, I think, than Aaron Glenn has, and Aaron Glenn's arguably 3 best games he's coached. Well, we'll take out week 1. But you pick any 2 games of Aaron Glenn's best time coaching with the Detroit Lions as defensive coordinator, and you take out Kelvin Shepard's week 2 and week 3 performance here against the Bears and the Baltimore Ravens. I think you could honestly say Kelvin Shepard's looked better so far. I told you when we hired Kelvin Shepard to be defensive coordinator, I thought there was a really good shot that he could end up being a better defensive coordinator for us than Aaron Glenn ever was, and he's already showing it. Week 1 was tough, but week 2 and week 3 he's coached out of his mind. We'll get to him in a little bit later, but Johnny Morton ran 2 trick plays that were very good trick plays today. One was a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. Well, actually, it was a St. Brown. It was a Jared Goff handoff to St. Brown, and then St. Brown pitched it to Gibbs, and Gibbs ran in for the touchdown. Great play call. It was another one on 4th down. It was 4th and 1, and the other one he did was a flea flicker of some sort. It was a pitch to Montgomery, run to the outside, and then he pitched it back to Goff, and then Goff threw it downfield to St. Brown for about a 18, 20-yard catch. They've done that play a lot in the past. I think they did it at least once or twice last year. But Johnny Morton pulling out all the assets, all the plays. He coached another phenomenal game. I mean, you gotta give John Morton. I'm happy for him, man. I didn't love the hiring when he made it, and I'm not saying he's already a great offensive coordinator. Like, we gotta see more, but man, I really liked what I've seen from these past 2 games. Jamison Williams, 2 catches, 43 yards. He was amazing to start the game and then just cooled off. But, I mean, as Jamison Williams, that's the type of player he is. He's going to have a big game, and typically that big yardage, the big receptions are going to come at a certain point of the game, and he's just going to cool off. That's kind of what Jamo's been his whole entire career thus far. Sam Laporta, 4 for 33, can't complain. That's what Laporta's also going to do for you typically, especially with how many star players you got in this offense. Jahmyr Gibbs, 5 for 32. Montgomery, 1 for 13. Khalif Raymond, 1 for 4. And Tesla had 1 target, but could not reel it in as it was a bad pass by Goff. One of Goff's only bad passes of the day. Now we get to the defensive side of the ball. And you saw why I was clapping before. 7 sacks. We got 7 sacks on the day, and before I get to the players who got the sacks, let me just go to this real quick because this came out 2.5 hours before the game today. Actually, it was a little bit more than that. It's probably about 4 hours before the game. The Lions announced roster moves. They placed defensive end Marcus Davenport on injured reserve. They also elevated Ross Dwelley, who they signed this week, from the practice squad to the active and active list. He did play this week. But Marcus Davenport got placed on injured reserve earlier today, and I about lost my mind. I mean, I expected it. I'm honestly surprised that it didn't announce as a season-ending injury, even though Campbell said they did not think it was a season-ending. I just expected it to be. But Ian Rappaport, after that news came out, also said it is a pec strain, and he's out obviously for 4 games, but should be back quickly after that. So that is good. But we did this without Marcus Davenport, man. And Marcus Davenport typically makes an impact when he's in there. The problem is he's just never in there like he was today. But, I mean, dog, I can't even believe it. I mean, half of it was Kelvin Shepard's play calling, but the other half was just us being able to get the quarterback. And the Ravens have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They got a uprising tackle in Roger Rosengarten. They got a great tackle, one of the best tackles in the league, in my opinion, Ronnie Stanton. They got the best center, arguably, in the league, and Tyler Lindenbaum. Their interior guys are still working to get a little bit better, but besides Tyler Lindenbaum, the center, but their offensive line is great, is phenomenal for the most part. They got Daniel Falede in there is decent. Like, they have a great offensive line. We were able to produce 7 sacks. And on Lamar, the best running quarterback in NFL history, not even in the NFL, currently in NFL history. Take a look at the sacks here. Jack Campbell got a sack. He was the first sack, and it was a strip sack as well. That really got the defense rolling. Derek Barnes had a phenomenal day today. He did a great job at tracking down Lamar Jackson on quarterback spies and just in general. He also had a sack on the day. We'll get to this guy here in a minute. Aiden Hutchinson, very good day today. He really was quiet to start the game, but then the fourth quarter he got rolling, had a forced fumble on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's now fumbled 3 times in 3 games, as the most in his NFL career to start. But Aiden Hutchinson also got a sack late in the game as well. I like to see that. That's his second of the year. Alex Anzalone on the last sack of the game for us got a half of one, and he just turned 31 today. So happy birthday, Alex Anzalone. Got a birthday present there with the win and getting half a sack as well. Trevor Nowatzki played his first game of the season with the Detroit Lions, coming back from his injury. Got a sack. So shout out to Trevor Nowatzki. He was out there quite a bit rushing the passer. Honestly, didn't think he did a horrible job today. And we'll get to this guy now here. Al-Quadin Muhammad, dog. Al-Quadin Muhammad got 2.5 sacks. Almost had another one where he just couldn't get to Lamar in time. He ended up bringing Lamar down, but if he would have got there just a smidge quicker, he would have had 3.5 sacks on the day. You see it on the thumbnail in the red banner. Muhammad had 2.5 sacks. Is he going to be the answer opposite Aiden Hutchinson? Can he be defensive end number 2? No. I'm still sticking to my word. I mean, if he continues to put up these numbers for us this season, 100%. But shout out to Muhammad. I mean, he played out of his mind today. He has now 3.5 sacks on the season. That's more than he had all last year. He had 3 all last year. And I was a big fan when we signed Muhammad last year in the first place, and I really liked his play last year in general. I've talked about when we re-signed this offseason, that was a great re-signing for us, especially since we already had, before we re-signed him, hadn't done anything in free agency. I mean, it didn't really matter even once we re-signed because we ain't doing anything. But he played out of his mind today. I mean, I guarantee you he got at least 8 pressures on the day. I mean, he was everywhere. He was everywhere. Shout out to Al-Quadin Muhammad, man. I mean, you'll have to see it. I mean, like, I saw a little bit of a sneak peek of the locker room celebration saying, man, I was just on the couch halfway through the season last year. And you guys gave me a chance, and look where I am now. So, shout out to Al-Quadin Muhammad, man. You love to see it. I really like the guy. The fact that he's our defensive end too is crazy to me, but he played like it today. So shout out to Al-Quadin Muhammad and just the Lions defense in general. I cannot tell you the last time the Detroit Lions got 7 sacks in one game. I remember us getting, I think, 5 against Atlanta in 2023, and I think we got 4 or 4.5 in a game last year. I can't remember what game it was. I think it might have been Chicago on Thanksgiving where we did that. But I cannot tell you the last time we got 7 sacks. I mean, this might be the most sacks I've ever seen the Detroit Lions get in a single game before. Honestly, since I've been watching now, this is my 9th or 10th year of watching the Detroit Lions. 9th or 10th season. And I don't think I've ever seen us get 7 sacks in a game. I mean, maybe like when I first started watching in 2015 or 2016 when Ziggy was on the team and stuff like that and Kerry Hyder. But, I mean, like, they played out their minds today. So shout out to the defensive line. Tyreek, we'll go over the rest of the guys here who are lower on the stats here. Zach Cunningham made a crucial stop early in the game, so shout out to Zach Cunningham, dog. Very good experienced linebacker coming from Denver this offseason. Made a crucial stop on 3rd and goal. The Lions' defensive front on down and goal situations, they have played phenomenal this year. I'm telling you, man. Kelvin Shepherd's play calling and that interior of the defensive line, especially once they get McNeil back, it's going to be deadly, man. It's just the other edge position opposite Hutchinson, which Muhammad showed today. He could be that. I just don't think he is quite yet. I got to see more of him. But besides that, our defensive lineman looks really, really good right now. Our depth is still not good either on the defensive end position, so I'm not riding off at the defensive end position even after today's phenomenal performance at all, at all. So don't get that in your head at all. That's what I'm thinking. Terrion Arnold, he struggled immensely today. He really, really did. He really has not shown much growth, in my opinion, like Dan Campbell and the coaches and the staff were saying this offseason, what he was doing in training camp and just organized team activities and stuff like that. I really have not seen much growth of him at all throughout these first couple games of the season, but I'm not by any means ruling him a bust or anything like that. I'm going to give him the rest of the season before I even make somewhat of a prediction on that. But he has not shown much growth, in my opinion, from the end of last year. Anybody else? Brian Branch had a great day. Should have had an interception on the day as well. DJ Reed also should have had a pick off of Derrick Henry on a trick play that they were doing, but he could not reel it in. Meek Robertson, not a great day today for Meek, but at the same time, he was still steady as can be, because that's what just a Meek does. Alex Anzalone, quiet day, but quite good day. DJ Reader made a nice tackle, but besides that, really didn't make that much of an impact. Tyler Lacey played his second game with the Detroit Lions, really just his first, but he was activated for week 1 against the Packers, but actually got playing time today. I really liked what I saw from him, honestly. He was primarily playing defensive end for the Lions, I think 90% of the snaps. I think he played at least probably 10 or 12 snaps for us today. I guarantee at least 8 or 9 of those were at the defensive end position. And I really liked what I saw, man. He looks very similar to Tyreek Williams. He got the dreads and stuff like that. So he looks very similar to Tyreek Williams. The only way you can tell the difference is Tyler Lacey wears 78 and Tyreek wears 91. So that's the only way you can tell the difference, because they look identical when it comes to the hair and when it comes to their size. But Tyler Lacey, I really liked what I saw from him today, and the pass rush and the run game. He's 280 pounds, 285 pounds. So the fact that he looked good on the edge was crazy to me. I mean, I knew he could play on the edge when we signed him, but he looked very good today on the edge, I will say. He got a pressure, I think, on one of them as well. Maybe even 2 pressures on the day. I wonder how many pressures the Lions ended up getting in this game. I would not be surprised if it's a crazy amount, like 18 or 20. I really would not be shocked. Sione Vaki, we'll go over injuries here. Sione Vaki was the only player that we know that got hurt in this game. He re-aggravated his groin injury that he was dealing with up until this point. He got ruled out as well, so he's the only injury we got to keep in monitoring. But he made a great special teams tackle as well. Jake Bates also made a phenomenal special teams tackle to save a touchdown, as well as his out to Jakey Boy Bates. He also attempted a 67-yard field goal on the day. He ended up going 1 for 2. The field goal, I think, might have been good. I think he had the distance, but it was wide to the left. But when it comes to the other guys, Grant Stewart played a couple of defensive snaps today, which I like to see. Pat O'Connor, really didn't see him out there as much today, but he was primarily playing on the edge a little bit that I did see. Not much that I saw from him. And besides that, very good day overall. Special teams was a little bit whack again today. Special teams has not been off to a great start to start the season. Jack Fox 3 for 146. But hopefully the special teams could turn around. I believe in Dave Phipp and the special teams, but is not going off to a great start. We'll go over the Lamar and the Ravens here. Lamar, very good day. Very good day in my opinion. The best quarterbacks in the league, the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Josh Allen is 1, Lamar is 2, Mahomes is 3, Burrow is 4, Justin Herbert is 5, and then Jared Goff will come in at 6. Jared Goff is right with Justin Herbert, though. He's right with Justin Herbert. I would just take Justin Herbert slightly over Jared Goff right now, but those two go neck and neck at it for the 5th best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. But Lamar, arguably the best quarterback in the league. He's probably got the most talent. He can do the most stuff of any quarterback. I just think Josh Allen sometimes makes smarter decisions than Lamar, but at the same time, Josh Allen also makes a lot more risky decisions as well. So you can go either way there, but Lamar, he played very well today. 21 for 27, that's got to be almost 80%. 288, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, we held him pretty good in the run game. 50 yards, 4.2 yards carry, and 1 touchdown. And we held him really good in the run game because he had a 25-yard touchdown, 22-yard touchdown. So you take away that, we held him really good in the run game, under 3.5 yards a carry. Mark Andrews, ate us alive, 6 for 91, 2 touchdowns. Had a great touchdown catch and a great ball placement by Lamar Jackson. But besides that, we held everybody else in check for the most part. Rashad Bateman, 5 for 63 and touchdown. Justice Hill, 3 for 45. Devontae Walker, 1 for 34. Charlie Coward, the third-string tight end, 2 for 22. Zay Flowers, 2 for 13. D-Hop, 1 for 13. Derrick Henry 1 for 7, and Tyler Wallace had a target but could not pull it in. And on the defense side of the ball, no turnovers, no sacks. Roquan Smith got 6 tackles, and that's all the highlight. Tyler Loop went 100%. And let's go over to the team stats so we can wrap this video up. Total yards, 426 for the Lions, 318 for the Ravens. 202 passing yards for the Lions, 233 for the Ravens. 224 rushing yards for the Lions. That is insane. To 85 to the Baltimore Ravens. 6.5 for the yards per play for the Lions. 5.9 for the Baltimore. 24 first downs for the Lions. 21 for Ravens. We went 50% on third down efficiency, going 7 for 14. They went 6 for 11. Fourth down efficiency, we went 3 for 3. They went 0 for 1. Total plays, 66 for the Lions. 54 for the Lions, 54 for the Ravens. Sacks allowed, 0 for the Lions, 7 for Baltimore. I still can't even believe this. I feel like I'm dreaming right now. Punts, 3 for the Lions, 3 for Baltimore. 8 for 68 on penalties for the Lions, 3 for 10 for Baltimore. Fumbles lost, 0 for the Lions, 1 for Baltimore. Interceptions thrown, 0 and 0. Time possession, 33 minutes and 18 seconds for the Lions, 26 minutes and 42 seconds for Baltimore. That's another thing I really liked about this game. We were able to take a lot of time off the clock by running the ball efficiently like we did this game. So, great win by the Detroit Lions. I cannot believe at all that we won this game. I really cannot. First half was neck and neck. You could make a prediction either way what team could win. It was exactly probably 50-50 shot at halftime. We were both playing about as good as each other was playing. And then second half, man, you could argue we put BTA. I mean, you could argue that, man. I mean, the score, we won essentially by 2 scores if you really look at it. Even though they ended up making it a 1-score game at the end there, so we only won by 1 score. But it should have been 2 scores because that 1 touchdown was a garbage time touchdown. But, I mean, it's just crazy to me, man. The Lions are back. Week 1 was a fluke. We play the Cleveland Browns next week. I'm not overriding them at all. Do not look past them by any means. They just upset the Green Bay Packers this weekend, who, in my opinion, were arguably the best team in the league. Now, the Browns do have the best defense in the league, so I do think we're not going to throw up a whole lot of points next week. Probably no more than 20, 24, 28. But I still think we pull out the win next week. But what a win for the Detroit Lions. This 100% puts us back in Super Bowl contention. This gets me a lot more motivated to face the great teams like the Eagles and teams like that. So and the Packers again specifically. So I'm so happy we got this win. This was the hardest game I think we were gonna have all season. Philly coming in is a second close, but I think this was gonna be our hardest game to play this whole entire rest of the season, and we were able to pull it out, really winning by a considerable margin. So, one pride, go Lions. What a game, and I cannot believe we won this game. One pride, go Lions. Lions are now 2-1 on the season. They head back to Ford Field at home to play Cleveland next week on 12 o'clock on Sunday. Man, it's good. I can't believe football's back. We win on prime time, 2-1. The Lions are back. And shout out to Johnny Morton. Shout out to Kelvin Shepard. And shout out to the Lions defensive line, specifically Al Quadim Muhammad. Great game, my guy.